And here you go, the plate is in the trunk for some reason. Why is it in the trunk of the vehicle and not on the back? Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. And you know what, the first thing I noticed is that this sign here is still extending into the road. And over here you'll see the team are issuing tickets to these 3 vehicles. 1 for obstructing what should be the sidewalk, and then 2 that are parked in the road itself. And over here you'll see the team will issue a ticket to this vehicle. You might have heard one of the enforcers there saying again, because yes, they have ticketed vehicles here before. Someone from the property came out and said, no, this isn't a public sidewalk, this is private property. But as far as I'm aware, it really is a public sidewalk. And over here the team are issuing a ticket to this vehicle for illegal parking obstruction. It's 2 lanes this side, 2 lanes that side, so they want to try and keep it clear, especially during rush hour. And over here 1 more ticket being issued to this vehicle parked in the road. So you've actually got 1 this side and 1 on the other side. So a 4-lane road becomes 2 lanes in the middle. And over here you'll see a ticket being issued to this taxi for obstructing 1 lane, and then another ticket to this taxi and that red and over there. And over here 1 more ticket being issued to this vehicle, again illegal parking obstruction, 1 lane of the road. And over here 1 more ticket being issued to this vehicle, obviously obstructing 1 lane of the road. And over here they're issuing a ticket to this vehicle parked in front of the school. One of the reasons why this road is prioritized is it's an alternative during the ongoing construction. And over here 2 more vehicles getting tickets. I think these might be eating here rather than living nearby, so just issue a ticket and then hopefully the vehicles will be moved on. Since there's no drivers, they'll be ticketed unattended, which is more expensive. If you look here, it's not a great sidewalk, but it is a sidewalk until you get to this far where it's obstructed by this white vehicle and this jeepney. That means pedestrians are forced to walk in the road. Obviously that's not allowed and it's not ideal, so they are issuing tickets to both of these vehicles now. Someone's calling on the radio about a vehicle running. What is it? This, okay. After seeing how many enforcers are along the road, they just gave up, pulled over to the side. So they issue a ticket now, back rider, no helmet. And the team are now issuing tickets to these 3 vehicles, the white one, the red one, the black one on the corner, all obstructing the road. That one you could say is also obstructing what should be sidewalk. It looks like it's some kind of condo building, so perhaps they either don't want to pay for a space inside or there's just none available. And over here they're issuing a ticket to this truck. They had to knock on the window to get the attention of the driver. He has boarded it up, so there's a good chance that he might have slept here overnight. And just in front of that truck they stopped this motorcycle rider, no helmet unfortunately, and wearing slippers, so a total of 2,000 peso in penalties. Over here they stopped 1 more motorcycle. Actually I'm surprised he pulled out. He was on a side road. He looked at the enforcers, then pulled out anyway. A lot of the time when people see that, they would actually turn around and run the other way. This gentleman's wearing his helmet on his elbow instead of his head. Anyway, they'll issue a ticket, then send him on his way and tell him to wear that helmet. And over here the team are issuing a ticket to these 2 vehicles. 1 more ticket to this truck parked here. And aside from those vehicles parked in the road, they're also issuing tickets to these motorcycles parked on the sidewalk. Sidewalk is for pedestrians, not for vehicles. And over here they're looking at this tricycle parked on the sidewalk. There's no license plate, so they can't issue a ticket. But if this man here has a license, they could issue him a ticket and they won't need to tow the vehicle. And over here they've stopped this vehicle for coding. They'll just issue a ticket, send him on his way. Simple. 1 more vehicle being stopped here for a coding. You see the last digit is a 9. The driver of this vehicle has said he's a doctor. But as we saw recently in another situation, someone had an MD emblem on the front of their vehicle, and then when they asked, are you a doctor? He said no, they just put it there. So you can't just trust that. They have to show a proper PRC ID that proves they're a doctor and that they're actually responding for a legitimate reason. They're issuing a ticket now to this vehicle parked in front of the market here. And over here the enforcers are looking at this tricycle obstructing the sidewalk. There's no plates on the back, so most likely they'll have to impound it because there's also no driver, so impossible to ticket. And there you go, it's been taken over to the tow truck now. It'll go on the back of this flatbed. And 1 more over here obstructing the sidewalk. This is actually the area that was blocked the other day, and then the woman in the wheelchair had to go in the road because the sidewalk was obstructed. Since this one over here has a license plate, they can just ticket it as unattended, 2,000 peso. Motorcycle here, no helmet, refusing to stop. What's up? So that was a pretty long chase, but they finally managed to capture him. I think he might have crashed his bicycle. So yeah, it's confirmed he did crash. There were some pedestrians coming across here, tried to avoid them, and crashed his bike. And that's how they managed to finally get him to a stop. But there doesn't appear to be too much damage to the bike, just a few scrapes and scratches and things like that. I don't know about the guy who keeps holding himself, but it's his own fault for running away from enforcers. The driver either doesn't have or won't show a license, so for that reason they're calling in the tow truck now and they'll be taking the bike away. Of course, aside from the original violation of no helmet and wearing slippers, they could add things like reckless driving, apprehended after a long chase, maybe even arrogant driver. It depends on the circumstances, but usually there are extra violations added to the ticket. So you'll see the tow truck's here now to pick up that bike. Apparently the reason why he didn't stop is he knew it would be impounded if they found out he didn't have a license. The thing is, when he runs, he's not only putting himself in danger, everyone that has to chase after him, they'll also put in extra danger. The pedestrians that were crossing here and everyone else, they'll also put in danger. So it's very, very reckless to run away from enforcers like that, especially for such a minor violation. It just doesn't make sense of endangering yourself and everyone else. They're also issuing tickets to other vehicles parked further along the road. This red plate vehicle is here pretty much every day, it seems. Every time I pass through this area, it's parked here in front of Mercury Drug, obstructing the road. It's from the barangay, that's why it's here every day. And in front of the market, there's a lot of vehicles parked here, although most of them are now driving away, I guess because they've seen the enforcers. And one more vehicle here stopped for a coding. And one more vehicle stopped here also for coding.
Baliw, gulma. Baliw, gulma. Alam mo yung kapitan. Kakagakita. Sino pwede maano dyan? Tatay na huli ako dito na ano. Na building ay binabanggit yan pero mo dyan. Pinalikot siya ako. Pinalikot siya ako. Sabi ko, hindi kami nang dito. Nila kami ng isda ako. Kulay na red na ano?
After a little bit of argument, the driver's handed over his license and they're writing out the ticket now. This driver here had some abuse to shout at me. I guess he's not very happy that he got a ticket. Oh, he gave me the finger. Okay, thank you. And over here they're issuing a ticket to this motorcycle rider. The lady on the back was holding her helmet instead of wearing it. Now she's wearing it, but it's too late. And over here they're speaking to the driver of this vehicle. They consider it as illegally parked and obstruction. The driver came back to the vehicle and got inside, but he's refusing to hand over a license. Now the problem with this one is there is a driver, he either can't or won't show a license, and the vehicle, according to LTO records, hasn't been registered since 2014. So even if they issue a ticket to the license plate, most likely it will never be paid. So they really need to get the license. The team have basically come to the end of their patience and they're now impounding this vehicle. I think it's actually been, well, a long time basically. So they're asking the driver now, please leave the vehicle. And here goes that vehicle now. That's an expensive back ride, 1,500 for the no helmet. One more bike stopped here, 2 riders, no helmets. Flagging down this vehicle now. There's no plate or conduction sticker on the front. Let's see if there's anything on the back. Nothing on the back either. No plate, no conduction sticker. Incredible. This man showing his PMP ID. I'm not sure if that makes a difference, if he somehow exempts the vehicle from driving around with no plates. And here you go, the plate is in the trunk for some reason. Why is it in the trunk of the vehicle and not on the back? So you see the enforcers writing out the ticket now and also advising her to attach the plates immediately.